Today we are ice fishing out here at Blue Mesa Reservoir here in West Central Colorado. And if Blue Mesa is famous for one thing, that's its lake trout. This is a world-class lake trout fishery and produces giant lake trout multiple times a year. But people often overlook the other species that make this lake special, including rainbow trout, brown trout, kokanee salmon, and the perch. The perch is the bottom of the food chain, right? Everything else in the lake is chasing it around, pressuring it, and the perch are constantly being hunted. But for those fish that are able to get away, for those that are able to escape, this body of water has some of the best foods for these fish, and they can get absolutely giant. Today we are going to be targeting some giant high mountain perch here on Blue Mesa Reservoir. Now, as you guys can tell, I'm already down here on the ice. Ice is not looking too great. Check it out. The snow has melted the past couple of days, and unfortunately the banks are becoming slushy and actually starting to honeycomb. But we've got some safe ice. Let's get our rods dropped down and see if we can't find some true giant perch. Let's get casting. All right, I'll admit that's a pretty good sized worm on there, but I still think 100% we'll eat that. But we're also targeting some large perch. They are a very underrated fish to catch, and you wouldn't get a good idea about Blue Mesa. Oh, I just had a fish. What on earth? I just had a fish. Oh, missed him. Shoot. Got him that time. Yes, it is, dude. What did I say? Let's show him off. Check out our first fish of the day. And that, my friends, is your typical Blue Mesa perch. You wouldn't be able to get a proper understanding of the types of fish and the fishing that Blue Mesa offers without targeting some of these guys. They are so much fun to target through the ice, and there's never just one of them. I'm gonna bet my life savings that we're able to catch at least 2 or 3 more of those guys. This one is about your average size that you would expect to catch here in Blue Mesa. You know, about a 8.5 incher or so. A gorgeous fish to start off with, doing the Blue Mesa flare. I made that up. Today, I'm not keeping these fish. Let's get her back in the water. All right. Awesome. But now that I know there's perch down there, I definitely don't need to be wasting whole worms. And that right there should catch us another perch. All right, we're back down already. Let's see if we can't get on a bigger fish here. And I just got another one. If this is a perch, it's huge. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's freaking go. Oh my gosh, I just pulled that perch out of the water. No freaking way, dude. Perch are super hardy. I'm getting straight back down there. To get a double up on these guys would just be the greatest, the coolest thing of all time. That's a freaking giant, bro. Yep. Okay, just an absolute freaking tank, dude. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. These are not your typical Blue Mesa perch, but they are freaking giants. We gotta show them off. This is unbelievable. Look at the size of that perch. That is a 11-inch perch all day long. But that's not the big one. Look at the size of this pig that we just caught. That is a giant Blue Mesa perch, way bigger than this guy. Look at the size difference on those guys. 11-incher, and then you got a 12.5, 13-inch perch. Just an absolute tank. Let's get a release on this guy and show off the bigger one a little bit more. I mean, unbelievable. Gorgeous perch. Going back in. See you, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-stripe perch with just an absolute tank of a fish. Let's get a release on her. Make sure she's good to go. See you, buddy. Whew. Any perch over 12 inches is an absolute jumbo anywhere you go. I know you guys are going to be flaming me in the comments that these guys make the best fish tacos, and I absolutely agree with you guys. But something about releasing those quality fish, the idea that I can just come out here and catch those fish again, that just makes my world go round. We're going to see if we can't catch some more jumbos, because that's just absolutely crazy. And when the perch bite's on, and you have to capitalize. Let's get a worm tied back down and get it dropped down. Let's get our worm tied on here. We're gonna run over here and drop it down this one first. I got a good feeling about this one. There she goes. And we'll set her up just like that. We'll watch that rod tip and we'll go over here and jig. Yep, there's definitely a perch down there. Haha. All right. We immediately got another yellow perch. This one's probably the smallest one we got today, but he smacked that spoon awesome little fish. Let's get him back in there. See you, buddy. There he goes. Let's drop it back down. So I'm moving the fish finder over here, got that other rod dropped down, walked over here and immediately saw a fish on the screen. And we got a fish on us. Oh, he looked big. It's another big perch. How big? How big? Come on. There we go. That feels good. It's a big perch. Let's frickin' go. Look at that frickin' tank, guys. Holy smokes. We are putting the hammer on him. That's a jumbo. That right there is another 12-incher. Absolute frickin' tank, guys. Let's get a release on that beautiful fish. Look at the shoulders on that pig, dude. There he goes. But that fish rolled through with like 2 of its friends, and they're still down there. I don't know how big this other one was. That was definitely, you know, the bigger one, I'm pretty sure, of the 2. Yeah, he's down there. This one doesn't look as big. He's coming up instant. My other rod just got taken. How big are you? Oh my God, it's even bigger. Look at how fat that one is. There's a giant down there, dude. Oh my goodness. There's another giant down there, guys. But this is unbelievable. That's the biggest perch of the day. Look at the size of that freaking beast, dude. That right there is a fat 13-inch Colorado perch. Just an absolute giant of a tiger perch. Holy smokes. Gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Let's get a release on her and get back down there. It's important to keep these fish. Wow, that is just a crazy looking fish. It's important to keep these fish entertained. All these schools are doing is just, you know, cruising, looking for food. And if you have lures down there, a lot of times you can keep these schools around and really put the hammer on them. But when you take your time in between each catch, like I am, having to show them off, having to film, having to keep everything organized, the fish will just slowly move on, right? And not be able to, you won't be able to catch quite as many. But we are putting the absolute freaking hammer on them today. It is unbelievable. Come on. Yep. There, got him. Whew. Okay. All right, pop right off, buddy. Let's get this back down. That is not the size we're after. Probably about a 6-incher. Not the size we're after. Let's get him back in there. Oh, come on, bro. Yep. There we go. That is not a nice one. That is not a nice one. Oh my goodness. 6, 7-incher. See you, buddy. Oh, yeah, we got him. This feels a little bit bigger. Yep, there he is. Look at this one. Okay, still not up to the size that we want, but a little bit bigger than the past couple we've caught. Probably about a 8.5, 9-incher. Come on, buddy. Let go. There he goes. All right, let's toss this guy back in there. All right, see you, buddy. There he goes. But I told you guys we'd go over some lures after I caught this next fish. These are gonna be my top 3 favorite lures to catch perch. My 3rd favorite lure to catch perch has to be a Simcoe bug. These things are incredibly good at catching perch. They mimic, you know, a freshwater shrimp, a little larva, just a lot of the different food sources that these perch are feeding on looks exactly like that Simcoe bug. Mix that with a treble hook in the joint in there, allows you to throw a minnow head, a night crawler, a mealworm, waxworm on there, and it's just the perfect little presentation for one of these fish, especially when they can be very, very finicky. My 2nd favorite lure for perch has to be jigging spoons. These things work absolutely wonders for those larger quality fish. I mean, I'm talking little Cleos, I'm talking VMC torpedo spoons, and that's actually what I'm using today. I've caught 5 fish in the 12 to 13-inch range here today. Some really fat perch just on this jigging spoon. It's not overly small. I mean, we're talking 1.5 to 2 inches of a presentation, depending on, you know, the size of bait I'm throwing on here. But it is one of my go-to lures for targeting some larger perch. But it's not quite my favorite lure for perch. My #1 favorite lure for perch has to be tungsten jigs. These things work absolutely incredible in any body of water. You can tip these with a plastic to make the presentation bigger. Tip them with bait to entice a bite. And what makes them so special is that they're so versatile. I mean, lead, tungsten. If you're fishing deeper, tungsten. If you're fishing shallower, lead. The versatility of a jig head is what makes it just an unbeatable lure for these perch. You can catch tiny perch on it. You can upsize and catch absolutely monstrous perch. That's why they are the king of all lures for perch. But I'm thinking that these perch that we're marking are a little bit smaller, because these big perch would come in and smack this torpedo spoon no problem. They're just nibbling at the worm on the back end, not quite going after the whole presentation. So we're gonna try to wait and see if we can get a couple more of these marks to come through. And if we are catching smaller ones, like the past handful of perch that we've caught, then we might just move on and downsize and or move spots. But we're still marking plenty of fish. They're just not the size that we're after. See you guys when we land another one. Come on, it looks pretty nice. It's right here. Yep. Oh my gosh. Come on. It's all tangled up in my transducer. There we go. This is a perch. Oh, what? That is not what I expected to catch. Okay, so that right there is a sucker, not what I was expecting to catch. I thought we had a giant perch on. He was fighting strange. Pop that out. All right, well, this guy is gonna be lake trout bait for sure. Huh, what a weird catch. I was really hoping it'd be a giant perch. He was fighting very perchy, but I was wrong. It was just a funky little sucker. I figured I'd explain a little bit about the area that I chose to fish here today. And just like perch spots in general, you know, on any body of water. I mean, and especially, you know, this lake too, right? Because I have, you know, a lot of experience on this lake as far as perch fishing goes, for sure. What we're fishing today is a big bowl, right? And these perch will push off the main lake and come back in here because they know that there is a ton of food in here. There's a culvert that runs under the road, and it dumps just a bunch of dirty water, stirs up bugs, food, you know, whatever. These perch just absolutely go crazy over it. And this sheltered cove provides them some protection from some of those larger fish on the main lake, big browns, and those big lake trout in particular that'll just, you know, come in and just prey on them over and over and over again. I mean, you can take a look here behind me. You can see how the bank looks, and it has that stair step with, you know, that sparse rock and boulders scattered throughout. And these fish, when I'm fishing 10 foot of water like I am here today, will just cruise up and down this bank just looking for food. You know, some crawdads in the rocks, some worms in the mud or the sand, larvae, hatches. You can really find perch pretty much wherever, in Blue Mesa in particular, because these fish do get pressured so much from big predatory trout, right, which is the majority of the fish in here. So these perch will basically go anywhere there's food and where there's safety, right? And that could be shallow in a bay where those bigger trout aren't going to be as likely to push up and eat them, or it could be, you know, in 60 foot of water off the base of a rock ledge, and where the perch are basically using that rock as a hiding spot, right? When you have a circular bay like this, you'll have those schools that are just slowly moving through, and basically we're set up on a spot where we're waiting for school after school to push through, stop and feed when they see our lure, and that's when we can entertain those fish, keep them in the area as long as we can. But when I'm showing them off to you guys, it makes it a little bit harder. But we've caught some incredible fish here so far today, and we're gonna see if we can't land a couple more quality fish up on the ice. What do you think about that sucker? Pretty cool, huh? All right, we got marks on the screen. He's coming up to it. Got him. Let's go. Perch? Yes, it is. Oh, he's stuck in the transducer. Come on, get up here. Booyah! All right. This is our first perch in a while. Maybe they're coming back around. Come on, let's pop that out. Another Colorado high mountain perch. Not quite as big as the ones we were catching, but they're still moving through. See you, buddy. All right, that's a good sign. I caught a couple rainbows. I caught that sucker. And finally, we got a perch to roll through here again. I'm hoping that that school kind of comes back around. There we go. Yes, sir. There he is. Another awesome perch. This one's a little bit bigger. This one's probably, you know, 10 inches. Not a bad fish. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 striper. Great genetics in here. These fish are still just cruising through. All right. See you, buddy. When you don't have live scope and you can't tell how big they are under the water quite as easily, a lot of the times those bigger fish will be willing to move the most to eat. So if you have a couple of marks to roll through, or you're marking some fish on the bottom and they're kind of finicky, I mean, they could be big perch, but chances are you reel up a little bit more and you'll get a bigger one, at least the biggest one that's in that little school, right? All right, guys, that was an awesome fish, but we've hit a midday slump. I went over my top 3 favorite lures. I gave you guys some awesome tips. You guys can use this information to go out there in your home bodies of water, or come out here to Blue Mesa and absolutely put a hammer on some perch and a chance at a true jumbo like a couple of the fish we caught here today. It's not every day you'll come out here, especially in Colorado, and put some perch of that quality on the ice. So, you know, super grateful to come out here and be able to show you guys this and take you guys along on this incredible adventure. That being said, feel free, reach out if you guys need any more tips. You know, a lot of times we have a ton of awesome information commented down below. So if you guys have any tips or tricks, go ahead and comment down below some of your guys' experience. And if you guys are wanting to learn a thing or two, it might take a couple of days to pull up those comments, but check out the comment section. There's some helpful tips down in there. I'm sure you guys can use on your next fishing adventure. Oh, dadgummit, dude. As I say that, we just had a mark come through. There we go. There we go, and it's a freaking jumbo. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm literally filming the outro, and I caught another absolute tank of a perch. That right there has been the story of the day. We haven't been able to get on one in a while, but that is a 12-inch perch to end it on. A beautiful fish on that tungsten spoon. You guys go pick up some of these, not a sponsor. They have just been absolutely crushing it. I hope you guys are able to go out there, take some tips from this video, and put some of these jumbos on the ice. I hope to see you guys on the water. Until next time, what do you say, buddy? That's right, keep freaking casting.